Yo, what's good? Next to Amolytics. Happy Tuesday today, September 16th. I'll give a little recap of Friday, our last day out. We went 3 for 5. Polyanko got it done. Marsh got it done. Chorio got it done. Lyle and Rosarina didn't. And then Bell did not homer against Keller out there in Washington. On today, I'll give my top 5 hits-wise, and I'll also give my homer play. And then we'll go from there. Yandy. Starting out, I like Yandy Diaz of Tampa Bay, going against Jose Barrios of Toronto. Has some decent history here, being 6 for 20 with the 883 OPS. I do love that, every at-bat that he has against Barrios, he's put the ball in play. In that AAA ballpark, good weather in Tampa Bay, I believe that mixes really well. Barrios this year has been giving up a bunch of ISO 2 righties, surprisingly, because in the past I would attack him with left-handed batters, but giving up over 200 ISO 2 righties. So he's always been someone that can give it up, and in this small ballpark, I believe he can here as well. Next, I like Romy Gonzalez of Boston, going against Jeffrey Springs of the Athletics. Boston just saw Springs last week. Romy had a homer and a double in that game. I do suspect, some negative regression, positive regression for Springs from that game. Really can't get any worse. How he pitched that game. So I expect him to do a little bit better, but at the same time, I don't expect it to be anything like crazy wise for him, especially on the road in Boston. I believe Romy does his thing here. He has a 14-game hitting streak he's riding into this game. And I believe, Boston is a spot that they can, win here. They didn't play quite well against the Yankees by any means, so this is really a bounce back series for them here against Springs. Next up, I like Soto of the Mets. Has a 174 WRC plus over the course of the past 2 weeks. Going against, one of his former teams. The Mets, haven't been good. I'm not going to say as a team they've been good, but he's done his thing. They just broke that losing streak that they were on. I think, 9-game losing streak that they're on. They broke that Sunday. This is a spot here, where I believe Soto can get it done. He's going against Michael King. Michael King isn't bad by any means. Did just get hit up a little bit against Cincinnati. I'm not sure if he got pulled early against Boston or not, but he gave up some runs there and only made it 2 innings. And he's been giving up a couple homers. I believe in his last 6, he's given up a homer, like 5 of them. And Soto's someone that's been hitting for power, this month. Has 5 homers on the month, has a 417 on base percentage, over 1,000 OPS, on the month so far. So I believe this is a good spot for Soto. Him or Alonso, but I'm in this top 5. I'm speaking about Soto, but him and Alonso have been carrying the Mets. So I believe, if you're looking for someone for a homer wise, it's going to be between those two in this game. Next up, I like Garcia of Kansas City going against Logan Gilbert of Seattle. Gilbert is someone that has drastic home and away splits, given that he's in that pitcher ballpark in Seattle. On the road, he has a 271 on base percentage allowed versus a 152 at home. So you see, the difference there in what I'm talking about. Does give up a little bit of average to righties compared to lefties. 232 compared to 188 against lefties. Gives up a 717 OPS to righties. Gives up some power there. A 203 ISO. Did just go 4 2/3 against St. Louis, so they chased him out of there pretty quick. Had a good game at Atlanta. That's not really saying much right now with how they've been playing this year. Did get shelled against Philly. Gave up some base runners at Baltimore, but they being a majority of lefties. Seattle, another righty heavy team, got to him for 6 base runners, 4 earned, 1 home run. He was out of there in 5 innings there. So I expect this to be, a spot where those righties can get to him. You got some dangerous righties in that Kansas City lineup, being Perez, being Garcia, being Witt. They also India's all right. I'm not gonna say he's really dangerous, but they got a couple righties in that lineup that can, give Gilbert some trouble here. So that was my number 4, and then lastly, I like Caleb Durbin of Milwaukee, going against I believe Dana of LA. Just got shelled against Minnesota. Just got showed at I believe it was at home too. So I don't believe this is a bounce back spot in Milwaukee for him. Small sample size for him. Only has 4 games that he's appeared in on this year. Got showed against Minnesota. Pitched decently well against Kansas City. Miami got to him, and then the Guardians got to him as well. Durbin's been batting quite well. 151 WRC plus in the last 2 weeks. 415 on base percentage for him. Is riding a 5-game hitting streak with 3 extra base hits over the course of that hitting streak as well. Against right-handed pitching in that span, 177 WRC plus and a 452 on base percentage. Dana, in the small sample size that I was speaking about, does give a 333 average to righties, and then over 1,000 OPS to righties as well. Over a 400 ISO. So power-wise, not necessarily saying Durbin's like a power hitter by any means, but he is, hitting for extra bases. So, you could go him there. You got a couple righties that should be in that lineup, being Contreras, Chorio, possibly Vaughn. I believe they platooned him, so he may not be in the lineup. But it's a couple righties in there that can get to him, but I'm taking Durbin here for a hit. So that is my top 5, being Yandy, Romy Gonzalez, Juan Soto, Garcia of Kansas City, and then Durbin of Milwaukee. And then homer-wise, I'm going to go Cody Clemens of Minnesota. He's going against Schittler of New York, rookie here. One second, pulling up his information. Schittler hasn't been bad by any means. Not saying that. Does have a bunch of home starts though. Out of his last 8, 5 of those have been at home. And in his away starts, Miami got to him, who had some lefties in the lineup there. Tampa Bay didn't at all. And then he went against the White Sox, which I don't really put much weight on. Got shelled against Toronto 2 weeks ago. I'm not comparing Toronto and Minnesota here by any means. But it just tells me that he can, get shelled. Let me see his splits here. Slightly lower, I will say lower ISO to righties. Not much there. Let me count this. 52. 58. 58 there. But honestly, this is more of a full game play in my opinion. The Yankees bullpen has been horrible for the past, for a while. Even with the trade deadline accusations that they made, they've been bad. And Clemens coming off a day that he got rest, in which they had Rodon on the mound yesterday, a lefty. Clemens being, someone that's platooned. I like this spot for him. Has a 455 ISO in his last 24 plate appearances. This is more of a, I say, batter play than it is, me attacking Schittler. But I do believe Schittler being a rookie that he can give it up on the road here, and someone to do it in that lineup, I believe, is Clemens. That ISO is very much lower than I expected for Schittler as what he gives up. But that bullpen, is horrible, really. And so I believe this is a spot where Clemens can get it done here. And then if it's not against Schittler, I believe it's against the bullpen as well. But those are my top 5. And that is my home run play. As I mentioned, I will release the full list for both hits and home runs on my IG at Next Gen Amolytics. If you want to be notified when I post, please subscribe and turn on your notifications. Like, comment, share. Let's go.